Yo, what's up everybody, Returnal here, and today we are starting a brand new easy mode beginner's guide, and this is for a different game. It's not a From Software game. This is a personal favorite of mine, and it's a game that I recommend to anyone who likes the Souls games. We are going to be playing Returnal, so let's get into it. Returnal it's an amazing, incredible game that came out in 2021, and it's just a damn shame that not enough people have played this game. If you have a PlayStation 5 and you have PS Plus Premium, you can play this for free through that service. If you have a PC, it's out for PC now, and you could find it for pretty inexpensive. It's an incredible game, and I really love this game, so I wanted to do an easy mode beginner's guide for it. And that's what we're doing. There's the cool intro video. I didn't want to spoil that for you, so we're just past that. We've just crash landed on Atropos. I can't even go back in my ship yet because we are at the very beginning of the game. But before we get started, these are the OP settings that I recommend everyone set on their game. We're gonna go to settings, and we're gonna go to video, and we're gonna go to customize HUD. And then we are gonna not have dynamic HUD on. We're gonna put the weight to medium, so it's a little bit more like clear in your face. The scale, we're also gonna put to medium. And then what else would I like? We're also gonna go to back to gameplay. This is where it's gonna get a lot of people upset, but turn aim assist all the way high. And then also I'm gonna put sprint, always sprint. The reason why is because you never need to walk in this game, so you should always be sprinting, and aim assist just makes shooting a lot easier. So we're gonna get out of here now. And then now we run automatically without having to toggle it on and off. You'll notice right away the controls in this game are super smooth. And there's a dash that you have that you press with circle. So get used to this type of gameplay, running, jumping, and dashing. So run, jump, dash. Run, jump, dash. If you jump from a very high ledge, let's say this is a super high ledge, so jump, and then right before the last minute, dash, and then that way you won't take any fall damage. This game looks awesome. Like, we're playing on PC, we're playing at a super high frame rate. You're probably seeing it at 60 FPS, but I'm playing at well above 120. And it even plays awesome on PS5. Like, as soon as I got this game, I was just like, damn, this game just feels so good. And that's the telltale mark of a good game, when the controls just feel so natural and smooth. The reason why people have troubles with this game is because it is difficult. It's a roguelike, meaning that your experience won't be exactly the same as mine. All of the rooms are randomly generated. That being said, there's only like 5 or 6 rooms, and it's just like randomly generated what order they'll be in. So you might have like a different room than me, but pretty soon you kind of see all the rooms and you're like, oh, I know what this room is, and then you know where to go for each thing. We're severely handicapped for like the first 2 bosses because we don't have the grappling hook until the second boss, and that's how we get up here. You have to get the grappling hook to get that. But we're gonna go through the story moments because we don't even have our guns. So we're gonna go through this door here. You're gonna see that mini map at the bottom, and you see the 3 items that we have. So the top one is your ether. Ether is used to purchase different upgrades in the game that will be permanently unlocked and become part of the random generated items that can drop. You can also use ether to purchase temporary items in the game. The second option there in the middle, that's your keys. So some doors can only be opened if you have keys. So sometimes you'll pick up a couple of keys, and they're good to hold on to until later in the game. And then there's some doors that if you have keys, you will unlock a bunch of great stuff. And then the bottom is obolites or obolites, however you want to pronounce it. So a lot of people in this game, they want to just like turtle behind stuff and then like kind of sneak attack enemies and then shoot them from afar and then run away. don't do that because enemies drop obolets, and obolets is what you use to purchase upgrades in the game. So if you are shooting them from afar and you're just like turtling away, you won't pick up that many obolets, and then you won't be able to purchase upgrades. So you won't be able to purchase health upgrades, healing items, items that give you an extra life, or items that make you do more damage, things like that. So you want to collect as many obolets as possible. So the best way to get around that is always be moving, and then just like if you're on an enemy, just like do circles around it while you're shooting it, and then that way when it dies you could just like dash in the middle, pick up all the obolites because they just like swarm to you, they auto like magnet to you, and then you'll pick up a lot of obolets. On the left side, the bottom left, that's our health, obviously. So the green bars are health, and then you'll see it's got 3 little bars beside it. Those are resin slots. So what's kind of frustrating is that the health looks the same. It's a green pickup item, and it's either a silphium or a resin. And the silphium is just straight health, and then the resins just fill up the 3 bars on the left side there. And then if you fill up all 3, your health bar gets bigger. So you can get your health bar pretty high if you play pretty safe. And then below that, that star with the 0, that's your proficiency rate. So that's the tier of weapons that you'll be able to pick up. So we're at a proficiency rate at 0. Whenever you start off here, you always start at 0. And I think you can go all the way up to 30 proficiency, but that's way in the late game. So if you get to 5 proficiency, every weapon you pick up or find will be a 5 or higher. So that's how the randomness works. And at the top left, that's a tank for like a special item that you can use, like there's shields, health items, things like that. So yeah, that's the basic controls. And then another thing too, what we're going to be utilizing is we're going to be save scumming. Fun fact, when this game first came out, you could not suspend the game. You couldn't even close the app because it would just erase your run. And the developers were adamant about that, and it was brutal. So you had to do everything in like one sitting, and like you could put your PS5 in rest mode, but sometimes even that would cause problems. So it was savage. But now they've put in the option to suspend and quit. So when you go here, you can suspend and exit or end cycle. So suspend means it'll keep all your progress where you are. And that's how we're going to save scum. So on PS5, you would do that option, and then you would go into the PS5 settings menu, and you go down to storage, and then you go down to save files. And then for PS5 save files, just upload your save file to the cloud, and then make sure it doesn't set to auto upload to the cloud. And then that way, if you die and you want to restore from that save file, you can just re-download your save from the cloud and then pick up again. On PC, it's a lot easier. You just copy and paste the files that are in, you gotta go into your Windows navigator, or I just press like Windows key R for run, and then I go %appdata%. I'll put instructions in the description below on how to save scum, but save scumming is essential. If you don't save scum, you're not going to be able to follow along with the guide. You might be able to, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult for you because you're gonna have to repeat stuff, and that's what frustrates a lot of people, is that they don't like having to like lose all their progress, and then they're just like don't have the willpower to go through the game again. But that was a lot of information. Let's just go. So you're gonna see here how we're going through a door. Like if you look at the map, so doors that are just like green rectangles like that, that's just like, that's the way to progress through the game normally. Doors like this that have the circle above it usually mean to a boss arena. In this case, it's the DLC, which is kind of like a boss rush tower. It's pretty awesome. And then there's also like blue triangle doors. So there's a map at the top right here. Like the second one up says side path, open, closed. The closed ones usually mean like there's a lock in front of the door. The little ship is Helios, that's our ship. And then xenoglyphs, that's like kind of like optional content. If you find little xenoglyphs, then kind of like unlocks the lore of the story. And then the last one is gateway, which usually means to either a boss or to another biome. So we'll be unlocking those later. Okay, so let's keep going. So you're always gonna run through here. I'm just gonna show you how to jump. You're gonna go through the basic like tutorial. So what I love about this game is that it doesn't like limit your movement right off the rip. Like a ton of games, and it's the hugest piss off. What they'll do is when you're learning the controls or they're showing you the controls, they'll make it so like your character can only walk. So like you'll have to slow walk and none of your other buttons work until the prompts come up to show you what they do, which is bullshit. This game doesn't do that. It just gives you a full rip of the controls. And again, we find our weapon.
Scout log, Atropos. I have found a deceased Astra Scout here.
All right, and then now we can aim our weapon, and then we're gonna bust open this door. But over here, I believe, yeah, here's our first set of obuolits, so we can run and pick these up. I think those will automatically magnet to us from now on. All right, let's keep going. This is showing us our first health item here, and you got to press triangle to scan. Pick that up, and then we got full health. Another thing too, like you'll see these statues, sometimes they'll have glowing eyes, and that means they have obuolits inside them, and you can actually blow them up, which is pretty rad. So this is showing you your first door that requires a key, and you obviously got to go over here. Again, this game looks amazing. This is made on Unreal Engine 4. Here's our first enemies. Kind of reminded me of the enemies from The Edge of Tomorrow, I think, that Tom Cruise movie. So remember, just always be moving. Oh, I messed it up there, but that's, you'll see at the bottom there, we got like little white bars there. That is the amount of ammo that we have. And when you go through your ammo, you'll have the option to do like a quick reload. And you want to get good at that. So I'm going to show you right here. So I'm just going to shoot in the air. And then this will come up, and then you want to hit R2 as soon as the bar goes right in the middle there. So you want to practice that because that's going to be essential. Because if you don't do that right, it'll jam up your gun, and then you won't be able to reload fast. And when you're fighting a boss, or you're fighting a bunch of enemies, like, yeah, you're going to panic, and you're just going to be like, mashing the R2 button and then not knowing what you're doing, and then you can't shoot, and then you're gonna get killed. So that's why you want to calm down and then just like get good at that. This is an audio log. These are kind of optional, but you can scan them and then you'll discover more of the story. Just retrieve it, and Celine, the main character, is gonna like talk about like what's going on here. Here's that key. Get these obuolites.
Last crash.
All right, now we got the key. Now we can go back. Remember, always getting good at jumping off edges and then just dashing at the last second. We're going to use the key, open the door. And now this is kind of showing you how the dash works. So you can dash through items. So it's kind of like your dodge. It's kind of like how you get iframes when you roll in Souls games. So like here, if you touch this red lasers, you're going to get hurt. But if you dash through them, you're fine. So that's another skill you want to get good at. It's just like dashing at the last moment, and then that way you can avoid being hit. It's also just showing you that's how you're going to traverse as well. So dash over here. Remember, just always look at your map in the bottom right-hand corner there, and you can spin it around and see if you've missed any items. So we can see that there's another item that we can get, and it's just the obuolits right here. Boom. And we know this is a green door, so this is a progression door. I bet you my bottom dollar there's going to be enemies that drop down in here. So remember, don't cower away. So you want to pick up all these obuolits. Boom. Easy. The game's great. Like, you just, you move so fluently, you just feel so badass when you like get good at the controls and just the mechanics of the game. Here's your first Malignant item. So any item that's covered in purple is Malignant, which means that you have a chance to get a malfunction if you pick it up. I would just ignore Malignant items, like straight up. They're never worth picking up. The risk reward is just too high. If you get a malfunction, some of the malfunctions will be like you can't dash, or like you take fall damage much quicker, or obolites disappear much faster, shit like that. It's annoying. So that's why just don't pick up any of these Malignant items for like the first while. So we're gonna get these obolites. Here's a button right here. Let's shoot it. More health. And you'll see that we filled up our resin bar to 3, and now our health has gotten a little bit bigger. And then this is the only other item that we can pick up. Let's keep going. These rooms are crazy. So whenever you see the big sphere room, and it's always a big loop-de-loop, there's a chance that enemies might come down from the middle, or they might appear at the other end. But I think because this is our first one, there won't be. But really, really cool. I fucking dig the aesthetic of this game. Like Geiger, Alien, like Prometheus, like really fucking cool. All right, this is another scripted section, so another scout log.
It is impossible to escape. I have tried everything.
And you never go to this section later on when you replay through this. This whole tutorial area never repeats. So you do it once, and then these areas kind of never generate again. So you're gonna see down here, there's obolites, and it's kind of like an open area. So like if you look at let's look at the map real quick here. So if you look at the map, like that's where you drop down. It's like, ooh, that's clearly something's bound to happen down there. So we're gonna run into a big enemy here, and you will probably die. That's fine. We don't need a save scum here. You can if you want, but I'm feeling pretty confident about it.
This dumb bitch. This stupid bastard doesn't even know.
This enemy is big. It has like an instant charge. Like it can instantly charge and hit you, and it'll do a shit ton of damage. So you don't want to be greedy. So you don't want to be in its direct line of sight. Always kind of be running in circles and be ready to dash at just the last second, and then just shoot it in the face. So that's the best advice that I can give you. So let's just jump down. And there it is. So that's the swipe right there. Pretty scary. Maximum focus. Oh man, doing terrible. I was like, I feel pretty confident. I haven't played this game in a while. That's my excuse. And you're supposed to die here. So you'll wake up in your ship. There's not really much in here. Like you can go in the back room here and you can go to sleep if you want. No real purpose in doing that. If you purchase the game early, you got access to other suits here. None of this stuff really works until later. Like it kind of shows you your stats. But we're just gonna leave the ship. And we're back out here. I put on a new suit. You might not have these suits, but they're just cosmetics. Okay, so now that we're back out here, now it's gonna kind of give us some of the basic rooms that you would normally get when you play the game. We haven't unlocked our alt fire yet, which is our alternate fire, which each weapon has. So you've got your main primary fire, which is what we're doing right now, which is the basic shot. And then there'll be an alt fire, which is when you do a full press of L2. And the alt fire is like, it could be like missiles, it could be like a bunch of different things. But we'll be unlocking that in a second here. So you can't swim yet. Spoiler. So don't be jumping in the water. This room, I always know that you can just dash for these lasers. And then you can pick up, oh, look what we got here. Calibrator. See that ups our proficiency level. So the more you pick up, the better weapons you can pick up. And this looks like a Malignant item. So remember what we said, we're not picking up any of the Malignant items. And we got our first blue door, which is up top. So we can go up through there. Remember, blue doors are side doors. And this is a device where you can use ether to kind of save your state. So we're probably never going to be using these, because we're just going to cheat and then just save scum. Oh, I almost fell. And you're probably like, oh, like, you're not going to do it legit. It's like, this is an easy mode guide. So you're going to have so much fun going through this game that once you unlock everything and we get through the full game, you're going to play it without save scumming, and then you're just going to be so much better at it, and you're going to have it like the best time. Here's our alt fire that we unlock. So let's scan. Atropian weapon charger.
Augments my weapon with an alternative firing mechanism.
So this is your alt fire. So if we do a full press of L2, so if we do a half press, that's how we can kind of aim. I love the DualSense controller for that. So like, it's got the haptic feedback. It's so awesome. If you don't have a DualSense controller for PC, I don't know if it's as good, but let me know in the comments. Okay, so we're gonna do a full press of L2 and then press R2 so we can unlock this door.
This will be useful.
Great stuff. Okay, I'd probably wait here for a few seconds for your alt fire to load back up, because I know in that next room there's going to be a bunch of enemies that drop in there. So sometimes that's fine to do as well. It's just like hang out the bottom left. You see there's that bar moving up in that square. That's to let us know that the cooldown for our alt fire and it's finished. So let's go in here. So we can just boom and then take them out in one shot. Easy mode. And there's a few over here. I would probably wait till the alt fire finishes cooling down. Oops. As I just use it. So we could take out that turret. Boom. In a little bit, we get a weapon that we can use that'll let us go through walls like this, because right now we can't. And it's also way better for killing these low-level enemies, because it just does it one shot. So let's bust up. Oh, we can't even bust these up. Yeah, because we need that item, which we won't get till later. Another thing too is early on, like I mentioned, like we don't have the grappling hook, so we can't go up here. There are little ways that you can cheese and make your way up to certain areas without the grappling hook, and that's these dudes right here. So if you let it grab you, then you can like dash out of it, and then you can pick up the items. So a little trick there, a little hack. Let's go through this optional door that's over here before we progress through the main door. These items are never worth it. So this bed right here, when it doesn't have a green aura around it, this will just give you a random item in the trade for a chunk of your health. So not worth it to ever use these, especially in your first playthrough. The ones that do have a green aura mean that they'll replenish your health and they don't take anything. But sometimes they may spawn items after you use, or spawn enemies after you use it. We're gonna go in here. We're gonna pick up our first gun. These cutscenes are rad, so I'm gonna keep them in the video.
Weapon, similar to our carbine technology.
Not that the Dark Souls ones aren't rad, I just don't want to like spoil any lore when it comes to the Dark Souls cutscenes, but this, like, you're not really spoiling anything. This is gonna be the weapon that we use for most of the runs. So this is the carbine, and it's an automatic weapon. So super fucking cool. You can level it up, and then there are carbines that will come with leech rounds, and that's what we want to work up to, because that means when we hit enemies, it'll leech their health and then replenish our health. You'll see we have a new alt fire as well. It's got a little lightning bolt there. That is an interesting alt fire because you just hold it down and you shoot lightning bolts like your Emperor Palpatine. Here's another scout log.
And investigate the energy reading in the forest.
We'll be going up there much later in the game.
Who triggered the broadcast? Do you see the white shadow is something?
Do you see the white shadow? Another thing I didn't mention is that little, looks like a little pulse in the middle of the screen there. That is, I forget what that's called, but the more you build that up, like the more defense that you have, and that's what you get for like successful reloads when you reload within that window. So let's let our gun run out here. And then the more that you do that and the more enemies that you kill, that number will max out to 5. So right now it's at 4. Keep looking around. So this room here, so I see a couple of healths. This is going to be a room that's going to spawn like a bigger enemy, I'm pretty sure. So let's go in. There we go. I always try to collect the health even when I'm full health because that'll raise my health bar. So remember, always be running. Never stay in one spot. When you stay in one spot, you're gonna die. And then also you won't pick up the omelets. Remember? We got a cool alt fire. Boom, pick up all these omelets. One more guy over here. Boom, you're done. Perfect. Okay, let's pick up all this shit. And because we didn't even get hit, now when we pick up all this health, we're gonna increase our health bar. Weird. One thing that I find super lame about Sony games coming to PC is that you can't use your controller wirelessly. You have to have your controller wired in, which I find super dumb. If you use the controller wirelessly, it will work, but none of the DualSense features will be usable. So it'll just work like an Xbox controller, which is the dumbest thing ever. Okay, this is like a suit signal, and these are like other people that have played the game that died right there. I don't even bother with them because they just spawn like a big boy enemy, and it's just a pain in the ass. And the whole point of this is to survive, so we don't want to be fucking around with that. I believe up there, nah, we're good. Let's just keep going. Okay, here is another scout log.
I have interacted with other versions of myself, but I worry one day
and we want to be able to use this, but we don't have the device to use that with yet. Yeah, so we need to use this teleporter, which is really cool, and it showed off the speed of the PS5 SSD, but you'll find out, like, if you're running it on PC, you're like, oh, I didn't need that. But I think that's a good place to pause it for right here. So I hope you really enjoyed the first episode of our Returnal Easy Mode Beginner's Guide, because this is going to be a fun ride, and I'm really looking forward to finishing this game with you. We'll see you guys in the next one.